Hello everyone, welcome to Snap Take. This is a companion piece to yesterday's video where we went over the 5 best Series 5 cards to get. This is 5 underrated Series 5 cards that represent a power spike that can transform your account from like an also ran to something that compete at the highest levels of Infinite. If you would like to get a really important and powerful Series 5 card, please make sure you hit that sub, like, and comment, and you can get a free Zombie Scarlet Witch. We're giving away 2 this week. Every video has your chance to win a copy of this powerful season pass card. Make sure you sub, like, and comment. There'll be a specific comment later this video that can help you win. The first card is the one that inspired me to make this video. It is Frigga. Frigga is a Series 5 card that is a 3/4. On reveal, add a copy of the last card you played to your hand. And when Frigga came out, she was kind of dead. We were all like, we want this to work. We want this to be really good. And we couldn't figure out anything to do with it, right? It took almost no time. Move, bounce move, Victoria hand, deck after deck after deck came out that can use Frigga. And I don't think that's going to stop. This card is so powerful and has so many different homes, so many different viable ways to use her that I think that this is a card that you're going to want to grab as soon as possible. As soon as you have like the initial powerful cards, this is going to be a giant power spike. So if you have Victoria Hand, I think the next card, the very next card you should get that Series 5 is Frigga. Victoria Hand into Frigga is one of the more powerful things you can do in Marvel Snap. If you want to play bounce, bounce move, bullseye, various versions of Thor's, all sorts of different nonsense along those lines, Frigga. If you want to play Zombie Destroy, if you're getting the Season Pass card and all those cards, and you want to play like a Destroy version of that deck, Frigga to copy a Death, Frigga to copy some of your cheaper ways to get hordes, all of that stuff is crazy strong. Plus, outside of like the bullseye decks, outside of the Victoria Hand decks, if you want to play like combo versions of those decks, if you want to play them with Surfer, if you want to play them with Luna, with other extra stuff, you're going to need Frigga. Frigga becomes the bridge to make combination decks happen. And I don't mean combo decks, right? Like she's obviously good in certain combo decks, but like if you're running a deck where you're trying to hit like you can hit bullseye or bullseye Dokken with her, or you can hit Victoria Hand with her and have a lot of success. You can end up hitting like using her for various surfer things because she costs 3 if you want to do some surfer combo stuff. If you're running a deck that's like comboing off using cards like Anti-Venom, Frigga to copy the Anti-Venom card is insanely strong. There's just a ton of stuff to do here, a ton of power. Copying simple cards like Sage, copying giant human torches. I think Frigga is one of the most forgotten about slept on power cards in Marvel Snap, and I think that as you build your account, as you try and get things together, this is a card you're going to want to pay more attention to. Next up is a card that for a while was the very, very best card in Marvel Snap. It is Scream. When an enemy card moves, steal 2 power from it once per turn. This was for quite a while the best card, and it has since been power crept. The reason that this is really underrated is no one talks about it anymore. No one thinks about it. A lot of the best Scream decks don't even run Scream. She's like option 4 even if they run her. However, if you're a relatively new account, or if you're just struggling to climb, just go play Scream. So many decks right now care about positioning. They're trying to get the Moonstone in the right spot, the Invisible Woman in the right spot, the zombie stuff in the right spot. Being able to ruin that and get power for doing so is incredibly strong. She's not a top meta deck, but there is an all Series 3 deck for her that can compete with absolutely anything that is a deck you can hit infinite with, that you can climb to high infinite with. You could also like so you can get that deck, right? Like you can get Scream and then you can play this all series 3 deck and use that to climb while you go build whatever deck you really want long term. That's totally fine. Or you can get Scream and then you can get cards like Sam Wilson, Cannonball, Mercury, whatever else you decide you want. Batrock the Lepe. You can get all these cards that are really, really strong that can power up that Scream deck, and you can turn that into a meta deck. It gives you optionality, it gives you power. Scream has been one of the coolest cards to me in the history of the game because her existence basically turned a bunch of cards that were generally considered terrible, like Stegron, into an archetype. And like we're not going to do a is it here? Where is it? Eh. I have Scream. There it is. Sub, like, and comment, fam. But there it is. If you want an all Series 3 Scream deck, here it is. This is it. Sam Wilson over like Kingpin or Silk is the first change you want to make, or maybe Shang-Chi given the current meta. Whatever, pick your poison. You want Cannibal over Magneto, but like this deck is already close to a finished product, friends. This deck is already something that you can climb with, something that you can put up power with. It's not hard to play. It had the highest win rate in Marvel Snap for ages, and just no one plays it anymore. It like I went to look up its stats when I made this video, and just no one plays this. but it never stopped putting up stats. It just got nerfed, and people, there's better things to do. And there are, but there's not better things to do cheaper than Scream. The next card is Nico Minoru. She is a 1/2. After you play your next card, cast a spell. That spell changes each turn. She can double her power. She can give +2 power to the next card you play. She can change a location. Don't sleep on that one. She can make a copy of the next card you play. We already talked about how powerful copying is. She can destroy the next card you play to draw 2. What am I forgetting? I think that's it, right? She has a ton. Oh, and she can move a card to the right, which we don't care about usually, but occasionally wins a game. She can fit in any deck that wants a 1. But there's specific decks that she's absolutely broken in. But like if you just have a spot for a 1-drop and you want to play a 1-drop, like 75 to 80% of the time, Nico's the right call. Unless there's like a very specific synergy piece, like a Deadpool type thing, right? Like a I don't know, and Ghost Spider. Unless there's a hyper specific synergy piece you want, Nico is the best. Just like, oh, I have a spot in the deck. I need a 1-drop. Let's play this in the game. Victoria Hand decks absolutely love this. Copying Victoria Hand is obviously incredibly strong, as we talked about with Frigga, but also like turning the hood into an extra demon, turning the hood into 2 free cards, insanely powerful stuff. Like this is just an incredible card in Victoria hand decks. Destroy decks. Destroy just got a ton of ones, and Nico is still like just we can't cut Nico, right? The destroy draw 2 gives you so much extra power in that deck. The +2 when it hits Deadpool or the copy for a power card, all of that stuff is absolutely incredible. Pixie decks are happy for that draw 2 to turn that pixie into a demon. Hammers decks really like extra copies of hammers, turning hammers into demons. Um, like all those decks really, really, really want Nico, but she's not like required for them. But if you want to play a classic bounce deck, you need Nico. Classic bounce is like Nico's home. Being able to bounce her back and use multiple of her abilities is absurdly strong in that archetype. She can play for like 6 to 8 power easily in that list. But what's more is that location change means so much. That turn a card into a demon means she just played for 9. That's insanely good in bounce. And the other deck where she's really needed is Cerebro 2, where she is so far and away the best 1-drop. Any extra chance to copy Cerebro is so powerful in that deck. Any extra location change is so powerful in that deck. Hell, she can turn Cerebro into a 2-power card, right? That means he's going to buff himself. If you want to play Bouncer Cerebro 2, you like need Nico. You're just never going to be sad to own Nico Minoru. She is like she's almost too good to be on this list, right? I feel relatively confident with the first 2 cards belong on this list. I didn't have this on the list. I talked to Cougar, the most recent Golden Gauntlet winner, about the list. He was like, "Put Nico on the list." I'm like, all right, I'll put Nico, but I took off his favorite card in response, so he'll yell at me about that later. Hey, check out twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. I should be live around when this video goes live within an hour or so. So come check it out. Come hang out. All right, so our season pass question. What was the first card you got in Marvel Snap that really opened the game up? That made you feel like you were powerful, that made you feel like you had a real deck and a real way to compete? I started playing before Series 4 and 5 existed, so my big power spike card was actually Sarah. When I got Sarah, I didn't know how to use her. I kept trying to use her with like 1-drop zoo stuff because I was an idiot. And then like a few days later, I was like, oh, this is what I do. And I just started climbing and never looked back. So Sarah was my big power spike. Obviously being for most people, it's a Series 4 or 5 card because that's how the game works now. But back then, those didn't exist. All right, our next card is Wiccan. Speaking of forgotten cards, this is like fairly similar to Scream, but I think it's like in a better place going forward than Scream. That's why it's a little higher. Wiccan is a 4/6 on reveal if you spent all your energy on the previous turns +2 mix energy. And like when Domino was a 2/3, it wasn't good to play Quicksilver and Domino, but now Domino's a 2/4, and 2/4s are good. And so you can just like run this with Quicksilver and Domino and be relatively fine. Run a bunch of 3-drops and you're good to go. You have a deck. Congratulations. If you don't want to run Domino, you can go with like Merlin or Kate Bishop because they give 1-drops, and then you run a really, really heavy 2-drop shell, and then you can go 2-drop plus 1-drop in order to get your Wiccan curve. That's really good, by the way, with Victoria Hand. That combo with Victoria Hand is very strong. So if you went Victoria Hand, one of the top cards in the last video, you could do that. But you can do that a lot of different ways. There's just a lot of good 2-drops in the game. You can also go big with Alioth and Cosmic Ghost Rider. Alioth is fantastic with Wiccan. Alioth on turn 5, like Alioth on turn 6 is great. Alioth on turn 5 is broken. That's part of the reason that he always goes in Arishem decks. Turning off the opponent's turn 5 play is often completely insane. Cosmic Ghost Rider, meanwhile, is right now very good. Perhaps more on that later. You can also just target key 3 cost cards like Speed or Gladiator. There's not a lot of good 3 drops. We're actually at a sort of low point for 3 drops after 3 drops being like the dominant cost slot. 2s and 3s being the dominant cost slots for a long time. But you can still just go get some good 3s because like Mobius is really the only great 3 that's a Series 3 card. You get Wiccan, and then all of a sudden you're just like, all right, how do I get 3s to fill out this deck? And you should be good to go. He just opens you up to a lot of options in your deck building. He also means that if you're interested in a card, odds are that card can fit into a Wiccan shell. Hell, if you decided you're going to go expensive and whale and get Thanos decks, you want Wiccan. He's just very powerful and really consistent. But nowhere near as open is Starbrand. Starbrand is a 3/10 ongoing. Your opponent has +3 power at each location. That's a bad ability for you. You don't ever want to keep that ability active. What the hell is he doing here? Well, he's the one and only irreplaceable card in the tens points deck. And there's like 6 different versions of the tens point six. There's the super giant versions. There's the pure Negasonic versions, right? There's the like I run Nightmare and just go over the top versions. There's the Sauron Scar versions that don't run Nightmare. There's like 4 or 5 versions of it, but the one card they all have in common that's high series is Starbrand because there's no other 3/10 and that deck needs a 3/10. So that deck is also probably the easiest deck ever to climb with. If you just want to climb, there's nothing easier to do than slam big dumb idiots. Starbrand being the one big dumb idiot you need means he goes close to the top of this list. That deck can work with Red Skull Typhoid, and this because of Sauron, Zero, and Enchantress. You'll note that I just listed 5 cards that are all series 3 or lower, which means that you have 6 cards in a deck with Starbrand, and now you can fill that deck out with kind of whatever you want. You can run other high series stuff, you can run other low series stuff. You can try and go like 4/10s and Scar, right? You can decide you're going to run Negasonic and Juggernaut style shenanigans. Because you have that cheap shell, it opens you up to whatever else you want to do. There's plenty of cheap packages that make this work, largely because they nerf Shang-Chi. This deck is the big beneficiary of less Shang-Chi because Shang-Chi would just be like, oh, you drop several 10s in a lane. Shang, bye, thanks, dummy. Well, that was why that deck was Big Dumb Idiots, right? Shang made you feel like a big dumb idiot for playing it when it got off. However, Starbrand does not care now, right? Like Starbrand sitting in a lane with Crossbones and with Red Skull, and it's just like, well, that's the 30 something power lane, right? 34 power lane. Good luck beating that. And then I've got like a Juggernaut to win somewhere else. And it's just, that's stupidly powerful. There's a lot to like about Starbrand for literally this. After you get Starbrand, I would consider Scar first, probably. Ares, Cull, and Nightmare are other options here. I think Ares is really, really good right now. There's not a lot of high power things in the meta, so Ares has been very good for me. And Ares usually hates me. And then like Nightmare is really good, but Nightmare and Scar are 2 different versions of the deck. So pick one to go toward, right? Like Nightmare wants to be played more with like Cull Obsidian, and Ares wants to be played more with Scar for reasons that will make sense if you think about it for 0.2 seconds. All right, our honorable mention list. Luna Snow, I think, is really, really great right now. She's one of the more slept on cards in the game. I do think you're going to want like a Red Guardian or a Cosmic Ghost Rider to go with your Luna Snow. But Luna in ramping into 5 is just a really powerful thing to do at this exact moment. There's a lot of ways to turn off the downside, although like, and a 4/6, a 3/6 is just a lot of stats. Surge as a 2/1 is great but hard to use. When she works, she can be game winning, but sometimes you get a card you don't want to play till the end of the game and you sit there and you just played a 2/1 that gave +1 power to something. So you played what amounts to a 2/2. It's sad. I think it's a really great card, but I think it's a little overrated at this point. Sam Wilson is great in Scream decks. It's great in like mini move decks that are basically Scream decks without Scream, and it's great in ongoing decks. But he went from the best card in the game to like probably a top 20 to 30 card. He's good, but not like must have. There was a quick moment there where I thought Iron Patriot was the best card in the game again. I don't think that anymore. I think it's a really good card in Victoria Handless, but like it's like the 4th or 5th best card in that list, and you don't need it. Red Wing needs other high series stuff. This is my like personal. I just added this because I love this card. I love Red Wing. I think Red Wing's great. It opens up a new deck and a new archetype, but it also needs other high series stuff, and it's relatively hard to use. I love Red Wing though, and if you just happen to get Red Wing and have other high series stuff, it's really fun. And no one ever talks about Red Wing, but like me, Husky, and Smiles. All right, Galactus First Steps is the most slept on 6 cost card in the game. It is a season pass card, by the way. Sam, Iron Patriot, Galactus, and Kate Bishop are all season pass cards. Again, repeat from yesterday's video, buy the damn season pass. You will be a much happier person if you do, in terms of playing the game and how it feels, assuming that it is an affordable thing. But Galactus First Steps is just the biggest and best 6 drop. You should be able to claim tempo with numerous decks and make him really, really big and really, really powerful. A lot of the best decks right now run Galactus First Steps just because they want a big guy to drop at the end that has more points than anything. That's Galactus. He's really good at that. You should use him. And the card that got cut for Nico, as I will get yelled at about this surely, is Kate Bishop. So the thing about Kate Bishop, who's one of the best cards, right? She's really good with Werewolf by Night. She's really, really good with a lot of stuff. But like, um, a lot of the time outside of Victoria Handless, she feels like a worse Merlin to me. And like, if she's not going to be really in Wiccan Shells nearly as much anymore because of Domino, she's a insanely good card that doesn't always have a really good home. She's a card you're happy to own and can just slap in decks, right? But I can't justifiably recommend her to you above these other cards, even if I think she's fantastic. I think she's probably the best card on this list of the honorable mentions, but I don't think she makes the list. Because I think number one, and this is going to be super controversial, is Cosmic Ghost Rider, he's a 5/7 honor reveal, remove the text from the front row enemy cards here, and I think right now he's the best tech card in the game. I think mostly what we want to stop, like if we hit a Human Torch with this or a Madam Web, we can ruin opponents, right? We can hit a Luna Snow Snowball and wreck opponents clogging them. We can turn off Invisible Woman or Jocasta. We can turn off Bullseye. We have so many freaking super powerful options for what Cosmic Ghost Rider can hit. We often end up hitting Moonstone or I lost her name, Captain Carter. There's just like a million really great hits for Cosmic Ghost Rider. It's really hard to play around because like it's very hard for most opponents to start playing their power cards only at the end of the game. So Cosmic Ghost Rider is great. Like he's just a cube printer. He's absolutely insane. Plus, if you're a little earlier in your account history, you're probably playing a few underpowered cards. One of the ways that we even the field from underpowered cards is Cosmic Ghost Rider. I talked a little bit earlier about how Sarah is the card that transformed my account. What Sarah allowed me to do is play cohesive tech decks. Cosmic Ghost Rider gives you the tech option for the current day, where like a coherent tech deck can say all these other players who have more cards than me have more power than me. I can, instead of trying to match their power, which I can't because I don't own it, right? I don't own the cards to do that. I can instead take their power away. And Cosmic Ghost Rider right now is the best way to do that. And this can lead you anywhere from Luna Snow to Wiccan to Arishem to Victoria Hand. So it's a nice versatile card that doesn't put you in a box, but does fit in a ton of homes. I think Cosmic Ghost Rider right now, I said before he came out, I'm not right about every card. No one is, but I'm usually pretty damn good at nailing the big 5 drops that they release, right? Like I got Legion right, I got Cannonball right, I got this right. I said before this came out that there was going to be a almost before and after Cosmic Ghost Rider came out to the Marvel Snap meta, and I think that this is hard enough to play around that hasn't become the case, but it's also powerful enough that like I just checked the top decks, and like every deck that runs high series cards, high cost cards, this is in them. This is like in every high win rate deck because it's just that powerful. Cosmic Ghost Rider, Frank Castle Ghost Rider in space is freaking nuts. So this is my pick for the most underrated card in Marvel Snap right now that you should go grab. Hopefully you enjoyed this list. Hopefully you enjoyed this content because tomorrow we're going to do in one video, not two. Actually, it might be later today. I haven't decided for sure yet. But tomorrow we're going to be doing the Series 4 card companion to these lists. Just one video. I'm not going to make you watch 2 videos for Series 4. It'll be the top 5 and top 5 underrated Series 4 cards. So it'll be 10 cards, one video. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in checking out our Patreon, check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. It would help out a ton if you were willing to. Certain tiers of support come with on-air thanks. Thank you to Jonesy Snap22, Abigail Giesland, Matt Turburn, LAB Inc., I Am Frostman, Ironcloak, Hota Neverete, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, Orion Wood Snap, Ren Wrench, Gopher Kev, excuse me, Vera, Group Math. Yep, I forgot again, Vera. Caretix Lee, Koirei, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Pyro, Goatsy, Code, Hollowed, Synth, Hallowed, carrying my raid guild. Sputnik, Absolute Shannon, Dirtay, Casual, Dark Moogle, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philly, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, The Biz Up, Like GB23, XRC, and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Celeste, The Kinger Bros, Broke, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kepsi Hoda, Colt, Clam, Colonel Foreman, David Moo, Wingfield, Steven, Brian Coffin, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B, Matt V, William Billy Nix, Ray Sean Smith, Charles Washington Corin, John Q, and Jimmy Q, Cute Town, The Stout, 8H, One Big Man, Cactus, Steve O, Went Through in Yorko, Ted Pro, and Quid Pro Joe, Snapchat, Scissor Joe, Biggity Boom Bop, Bricks to Click, Ocularis, Green Goblin, Flan 56, Spectrum X, Hoot, Only Fox, Matt H, DJ, Matt Hedging, No Freaking Flex, Nick, the Greek Geek Toxic Soul King, Sajik King for the King of Canada, JJJ, Dead Man Falcon, Thor, Newman Two Ties, the Great Lord is the Pranking Tucker, and of course Gunny T, where the T stands for Tomorrow Series 4. Don't miss it. I'll see you then. Much love, much kindness, much respect, and I'll see you soon. Peace.